Harem animes have to be one of the worst genres of all time because I just don't see the satisfaction in watching a loser MC with a very crappy personality pulling all the baddies. It makes zero sense to me, and I just don't see the pure enjoyment. It's kind of literally the worst genres out there. No hate to those who are actually fans of it though. But again, I just don't see the satisfaction in watching a seemingly hollow of a character not gain any character development. Well, I mean good character development, because there is some development, but it's just a complete 180 of what his character is. It just makes zero sense. But I will say that there are some exceptions, and most of the time for me it requires, again, character development, not just for the main character but as well as the people that are falling for him. Now, before continuing on, I just wanted to clarify that harem is considered to have an MC with more than 2 love interests. Not 2, because that would be a love triangle. One of the best examples is My Teen Romantic Comedy, although that kind of has like a harem thing to it. The main 2, you already know who they are. There's no room for anybody else for Hachiman, but that is a love triangle. So more than 1, so being 2 characters that fall for the MC is a love triangle. More than 2, 3, or 4 is a harem. Now back to what I was saying, there are some exceptions when it comes to harem animes. Now one of them is the quintessential quintuplets. To be fair, I did drop this one, but at the same time, it was during the time where the episodes were coming out week by week, and I just got annoyed, so I dropped it then and completely forgot about it watching something else. Now I picked it back up and I thought it was okay. I still don't consider it one of the greatest romance animes out there, but it's still up there. It's probably top 10, not top 5. But what makes this harem stand alone is that each individual quintuplet had their own character development. That's something that I was interested in. Not just the quintuplets, but the main character as well. And although it's not considerably one of the greatest character developments that you see in anime, it still had a core to it, and it didn't sway from it, and it continued on, which was pretty good in my opinion. Another anime that I consider to be a very good harem would be 100 Girlfriends That Really Love You. Now, hear me out. It is a harem that has obnoxiously many characters and still climbing, but the more you see it as a comedy, the more you will enjoy it. It should be viewed with this type of genre. If you see a harem, I consider it to be more of a comedy, but the comedy has to be pretty funny for it to be considered a good harem. Not a lot of animes do that, especially the isekai ones that have the comedy tag but turn out to be not so funny at all. But back to what I was saying, 100 Girlfriends is absolutely hilarious, and it takes shots at itself because this anime is aware that it's not supposed to be a serious romance, and I hope, judging from the title, it's not a actual harem that's serious with its romance. Now I will say, the main character, stands on freaking business for all of his girlfriends, and so do they stand on business for him. It is pretty funny. They do have some serious arcs, but at the same time they still add and dabble a little bit of humor in there, and that's what makes it stand out from every other romance anime or romance harem that exists. And this one is in its own territory because, again, as I've stated before, it's more of a comedy than it is a romance, and that's where it shines, and that's where I purely enjoy it. I mean, every character, every girlfriend that he has is very unique and very different from the other, which I'm going to be surprised if it keeps continuing on, because how are you gonna make every individual girlfriend different? Yeah, that's just crazy. I think it's pretty hilarious, and I hope y'all do as well. I consider this to be a very funny and good harem. Another one which I hope y'all are waiting for is High School DxD. Now, of course, everybody and their mothers have watched this for the plot. Nothing else. Joking, except me. And I swear that on everybody's souls but mine. This one actually is pretty hilarious as well, and it actually has a pretty decent story. And at first I was skeptical of watching it. I thought it was too much, and I thought it was pretty dumb that it exists, but I kept hearing everybody saying that it was very good. And with that said, it took me maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years for me to actually watch it, ever since I was recommended it when I started watching anime. And I'm glad I did, because it was very enjoyable. I will say though that due to the animation studio taking their own routes to the story, season 4, I'm pretty sure, was where it started heading back to the main source material, and that kind of messed with me a little bit. So that made me think that the story had a little bit of holes into it, and some things weren't really necessary while some were. And upon reading a little bit of the source material, I kind of got the gist of what was supposed to happen, and from source material it is pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie. One thing that I am upset about is that the animation style did change due to the conflict of seasons 1 through 3, 3 trying to take their own matters into their own hands, and then enough was enough. So in season 4 it changed the animation studio, was more directed to the source material, but because of that the animation style did change. And some people say that they didn't notice it. I noticed it immediately, which was a little annoying, took a little getting used to, and after that it was all great. I will say though, I'm waiting for season 5 because that's pretty freaking good. But yeah, like I said, it's a very good harem. Sometimes they don't really take it seriously. I prefer the English dub because it's more hilarious that way, but it does have good humor. It has great character development, especially Issei's, and although he is a little cuckoo and down bad in the head, it makes sense to have whatever's going on within the anime to exist. And I thought it was excessive at first, but upon, you know, watching it a little bit more, reading it a little bit more, it makes sense. So it's unnecessarily necessary, if that makes sense. Don't get me wrong, it's excessive, but that excessiveness brings out the humor, and I was a fan of it. But yeah, if you've watched High School DxD, let me know down in the comments, because it's one of probably the best one that I've stated here by far. But yeah, for the most part, all the harems that do exist are very bad, and the ones that I've stated are considerably good, and if not one of the best in their genre. And I just hope that when more romance animes come out that are harem based, they tend to take the route that are either funny, make sense to be ecchi, or actually develop each and individual character within that harem rather than just making the guy a chick magnet. But yeah, I will say that a lot of harems are trashy, especially when it merges with isekais, because that is just a whole entirely different story, especially when it comes to the MC still being a loser through and through and barely develop anything. It's pretty annoying, and in my opinion, isekais and harems are the worst combinations ever. Now, I know why they exist. I've heard a lot of stories when it comes to Japanese culture, work culture, and everything like that, and it's a form of an escapism, and I totally get it. And I'm not hating on anybody that actually enjoys or are also escaping from reality for a moment to watch these things, and I'm not hating at it at all. I just wanted to clarify that. I'm just saying that it's probably one of the worst in my opinion, because I like animes that have story as well as depth. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Don't let it bother you, and if you don't agree with me, that's perfectly fine. I really don't care. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say. Appreciate y'all for hanging around and hearing me yap about harem animes, one of the worst genres ever. But yeah, if you made it this far, appreciate y'all. If y'all like what y'all see, why not drop a like or subscribe, drop a follow? You know, it don't hurt that much. Anyways, y'all have a great one, and I'll see y'all next time. Adios, guys.